You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
They did it again. What is going on? Matt O'Leary, Mitch Anderson, Up the Turnpike post-game show. Mitch, it happened again.
The same team playing the same team and the same result. The score is obviously a little different here, but like, how do you do this? You fall apart in this basically the exact same way a couple days later to the same goddamn team, and you had everything going for you. You were up to, anyways, we'll get to it, but like, holy, it's almost like Nick says here, haven't been this disappointed in this team since the 2000s. It's kind of fair.
Yeah, how could you not? Honestly, how could you not be? And I know that we might get some comment. There's going to be a lot of negative comments tonight, and totally valid and justified. Most fans are completely there. Yeah. I just genuinely don't have it in me to be like, well, you know, the Islanders actually have, you know, they played better than Detroit in the 3 games, even though that they lost. Like, I get that, but like, they blow leads every night. 4 of their last 5 games, they have blown a third period lead. 9 times this season in 22 games, they've done it. Like, this, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And again, it goes back to something. I feel like we're doing the same show, and I apologize to you listening at home if you feel like you're watching the same thing over and over again. But I'm going to say it for probably the 10th time already this year. It feels like something's very rotten with this team. And I don't know how you fix it with this core group of guys. So I think all things are trending towards major moves having to be made in season at the trade deadline. And actually, like, I don't know, set yourself up to be in a good transition spot and get some draft picks in a trade here.
Yeah. I want to say I'm not there. We have a Red Wings fan in the chat. Good job on you guys, I suppose, for winning. We let you win, I suppose. Not let you, isn't like, okay, here you go. It's just like, we didn't do enough to stop you. The goals they scored were fine. It's just, it's so embarrassing to like Andre says, what an embarrassment. Like, how do you do the same goddamn thing twice? I'm not necessarily fully into like, we need to, as Andre said, and you basically said it yourself, we need to dismantle this team or fix it, retool it type of thing. I'm not quite there, but it's really hard to defend that position. If anyone at any point says, yeah, but Mitch, what about this? I can't argue against it. Like, everything is quite visible that it's something is rot in the state of the New York Islanders right now, and I don't freaking get it. It makes no goddamn sense.
No, it truly doesn't. But we should start talking about this game because there's a lot to get into even before the tail end, which we'll have to spend some time on. Islanders jump out to a relatively early lead, 4:35 into the game. Anders Lee with assists from JG Pajot and Noah Dobson. Really a beautiful shot from Lee. Just finds some space and lets one rip.
Yeah, it's just that they're working the puck and they're getting on it, right? Like, you can see Jean-Gabriel Pajot getting to the puck, first one to it, winning puck battles, just this driven play that did not exist in the third period. It just didn't. Clearly, if you even just look at the stats, you would know that. But by watching it, it would be reaffirmed. That wasn't there. This mentality of we have to win these puck battles just is not there in this third period, and obviously in others. And it's just baffling to me. But good job working it. Anders Lee looks great through, a bunch of injuries, but the lead doesn't last. Although we all knew that they weren't going to, no one's going into any New York Islanders game saying like, we're going to shut them out tonight.
No, 1-0 game is not this. That's not how this team operates. And it would have been nice to go into or leave that first period. Go into the first intermission with a lead because, spoiler, I thought they were the better team in the first period, even though it didn't show because Moritz Seider would end up getting the Red Wings on the board here at the 13:25 mark of the period.
It is frustrating to go into the second period tied 1-1. Just a big shot by Moritz Seider. Like I don't know, maybe Varley could have done a little bit more. Maybe he was screening and I can't see it through the visualization. I missed the first because of that band practice still. But you look at the underlying numbers and the Islanders 63% of Corsi. They had 67% of the high danger, 55% of the expected goals. They were the better team in the first period. You're only down, not even down. You're tied 1-1. Fine. You still have 40 minutes to figure this friggin' thing out. And it seems like they do through the second period, that they're decent in the second period. But they score, right? Kyle Palmieri scores in the second period, which is great. 10th goal of the year for Kyle Palmieri. Quickly turning into a 40-goal score is going to be great. But again, watch how they're moving this around, man.
And I was just going to say, good things happen when you go to the front of the net. And Palmieri has done a really good job, I think, the last 2 years of just putting himself in really good situations to be where loose pucks are going to be.
Yeah. How about that? Isaiah George getting his first NHL point. Like, that's got to feel pretty
that's awesome.
Good. But god damn it. Like, all the good things, like, yeah, they're up 2-1. And through the first period, they were the better team in terms of the underlying numbers. And then the second period, 36% of Corsi, 40% of the high danger, and 51% of the expected goals. Through 40, they were still technically the better team on paper, and they had the goal lead. So you're going, great, finish this off. And they can't for the life of them at all.
You know what really was the beginning of the end?
What was that?
We've talked about it a few times.
Oh god.
Special teams, the power play. They have an opportunity in the third period, up 2-1, get a power play relatively early in the first half of the third period, and they can't bury a single thing.
No, and they start obviously with possession in the zone, as you do on any power play, and they just can't generate anything out of it. Kudos to the Red Wings, to Clump Sauce, who may not still be around. They were very aggressive on their penalty kill, and it caused us a lot of problems. We just could not deal with how aggressive they were in terms of closing gaps at all. And so from there, they hounded us. We couldn't create any sort of possession in the zone, and then we couldn't enter the zone after that. There's the one attempt that you brought up before we got on the air from Maxim Siplikov, and that was it. That was it.
Pretty much.
Right? He breaks his stick, and then that we just kind of, wow, what are we supposed to do now? Done.
And it's frustrating, too, because it feels like you wasted a good one. They've been good at 5-on-5, but they had a strong penalty kill night, too. And it's rare that you have those little wins of the penalty kill playing well. And they did against a power play that's 6th in the league. Detroit was 2nd in the league, and they've gotten cold a little bit and dropped down to 6th. And that streak has, continued into tonight. But anyway, Islanders can't find the goal. Instead, it ends up being tied just 40 seconds after the power play is over. So essentially, the Islanders lose all momentum after not being able to capitalize. And then immediately, Dylan Larkin finds the back of the net.
Yeah, and it's again, I was talking, maybe not again, but what I was talking about in that second period, or in the first one, where the Islanders were winning puck battles. They don't win a single goddamn puck battle in their own end on this play at all. Not once. Isaiah George can't win it. Simon Holmstrom's late to close the gap. And what is it, Lee, or is it Cizikas there? No, it's George. Can't win the puck battle against Dylan Larkin, which good play by Dylan Larkin. I don't think there's much more that George could have done there to stop him. He stops the puck, and then he shows Larkin to the outside, and he wraps it. Not much more anyone could have done. Even Corey Schneider's like, there's nothing really that Varley could have done there. He did his best. But those plays happen, right? These plays happen. That's not okay, but it's just, well, that's going to happen. It's what do you do after that happens? And nothing. They did nothing, and then they score another goddamn goal, like what, a minute later?
2.5 minutes later. But point right at 11:20 to 13:53. Like instantly, they just fold. And Lucas Raymond with the deflection, you'll see here, right in front of the net. Scott Mayfield can't really do much to move him out. And there you go.
Well, even then, like, the shot is outside. It's missing the net. And Lucas Raymond is reaching away from the net and is able to get it in. It's a crazy redirect, but it really comes back to the Islanders aren't winning a goddamn puck battle here whatsoever. They are chasing shadows the entire shift. They can't get anywhere near this puck. And 2 minutes, you had the game. You had it. Even then, you killed, even if you don't do anything on the power play, you killed 2 minutes off the clock, like what you was saying. So but you win regardless. But then you have no mindset to just kind of keep on pushing. You're like, well, we didn't do anything, so let's coast our way through this. How in the world is this how this team operates? It makes no goddamn sense how they go through the first 40 minutes and hound pucks, and in the third, they're like, we're good here. We're not going to do that part, even though they've seen time and time again that it doesn't work.
And I don't know, we were just talking on one of our recent pods on the Patreon, where we're talking about the third period differential.
Oh, yeah.
And another -3 to that, by the way. So what's that up to? 13?
Minus 13. Yeah.
Like, you can't win that way. It's no wonder they can't close out these games. And like I tweeted it out after the game. Honestly, I'm like, just wake me up when they don't blow a third period lead, because at this point, I'm expecting them to. And that's a really shitty way to feel about watching your team that you're going to watch every single night. Like, we do the YouTube. We've done Islanders content for a really, really long time together. We watch every single game.
Yeah.
And I have zero faith that they're going to close it out in the third period. I'm going to it saying, okay, how are they going to do it tonight? How are they going to give this lead away tonight?
Yeah. And again, like you said, their last 4 games, they had a third period lead and they let it sink. This team, as Zoidberg programmed this, says this team is hard to watch. It really is. It's hard to watch this team. And like Joseph said, it's the same script every season. Although thankfully for him, he's not disappointed because he has no expectations, which is not a fun thing to have when you're trying to watch a team, your team do something. You're like, if it was like the San Jose Sharks, I have no expectations for this year. Fine. Whatever. I'm getting heated. My face is turning red. I'm ready to take this off. The block heater's coming off, baby. If you're the Sharks, fine. Makes sense. You have no expectations because you're playing with none. But for us, like, this team is built to do something. What that something is, we don't necessarily know. My hair is a mess. But it's not doing anything. And so it's really hard to watch what is happening right now. It's really rough.
Yeah, they shouldn't be this bad. Is my thoughts on it. I know they're missing a lot of pieces too, and Romanov was out tonight because he was sick, and like
I forgot about Romy.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any of the excuses anymore. It's just because it's been literally, like, this is not an exaggeration. It's been 3 years of this. This is the third season where this has been an issue for this team.
Injuries are never the reason; they're the justification. Or is that the right word? Or excuse, sorry.
Yeah.
Injuries are never the reason, they're the excuse. You should have like, we've seen it on the road trip. The Islanders were fairly competitive on the road trip. Sure, they went 1-2-2 on that trip, but they had this dumb game against the Red Wings that should have gone the other way. It should have been a 2-1-2, and then we're singing a different tune. With those injuries, you can manage this for a little bit. And like, what is it? Clumpsaw says, how much longer until Barzal is out? Probably 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Like, that's a long time. P.S. Is he playing bass? I love him already. You're playing bass. Favorite person already.
Okay, that's a good eye. Did not even notice that. But
it looks like a big tuning pegs, so gave it away.
That's how you knew it. Duclair and Pelech have started skating on their own. Barzal haven't heard anything on that yet. So I'd imagine that Pelech and Duclair are closer than Barzal. It's just my assumption based off that info that we have.
Yeah, and that's a good assumption to make. It makes a lot of sense. But I don't know if the fact that Duclair comes back or Pelech comes back and then Barzal comes back, that we're like, fixed, here we go. That does not immediately imbue me with a lot of faith. I wanted to. I desperately wanted to, but I'm not going like, here we go, a different team, baby. I want to desperately, but I know, like, it's probably not going to change a whole lot.
No, it's so much more fun watching this team win games. I want them to win games, but I haven't seen that yet this year. I've just seen them be a very stagnant team hovering right around 500. If that continues, I think you need to capitalize on Kyle Palmieri scoring at a 40-goal pace, and Brock Nelson being a perennial 30-goal scorer and entering a contract year, like, I don't know. Now's your chance. Now's your out.
Yeah, keep pumping up that trade value, like Sloppy says, for Palms and Nelson. Like they both get points tonight. Yeah, if we can get first for them, that would be ideal. But that we're getting late first round picks for those guys, and I'm not saying we shouldn't if the offer is on the table, if and when it comes time. But just late first round picks are not going to help us in the immediate. I'm not saying we shouldn't. It's a whole other can of worms when we get there, if we get there.
Yeah. It's tough decisions.
Oh man, it really sucks. This really sucks. And I really want to be a positive person when it comes to this team. I want to skew positive, but it really sucks. Like 2 games not in a row, but like against the same team, losing in the same way when you have the game. You have it. You're in control and you let it slip.
I know that this is what he's supposed to say, and I'm not going to kill it. But we got a Brock Nelson post-game quote.
Okay.
I just want to pull up on the screen because I feel like it's appropriate for kind of what we're talking about. And he said, "We believe in the group to get the job done." Which, again, I know I'm not going to beat up Nelson because that's the politically correct answer, right? Like, yes. That's kind of your politician nothing answer. I don't want to hear it anymore. Just that falls on deaf ears.
It really does. And again, you're right. The criticism doesn't fall to Brock. It falls to how often we've heard that line.
Yes.
From not necessarily the players, but from management.
It makes me mad at management. It doesn't make me mad at Brock Nelson.
Exactly. Like, you're right. What is Brock supposed to say? Like, this is what my boss wants me to say, so I'm going to say it, or else my boss isn't going to be really happy with me. And then what does that lead to going forward? But yeah, man, you've got to say that. But we've heard that a billion friggin' times. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. 33 third period goals.
13, 33, and 4. That's unbelievable, Mitch.
It's really bad. It's really, really bad, man. Oh my gosh. And there's no way to explain it. It's just,
I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm sorry, I just put the graphic up and didn't say anything, but like, just had to show the visualization of like what this looks like.
And obviously, Patrick Roy is having those discussions with the players, and they have this information. Obviously, it may be in different ways, but like, it's kind of like what Sloppy's saying. Like, what can anyone even say anymore? And this was in relation to Brock Nelson, because like he says, even if Brock spoke his mind, it's been the same story for years. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But in regards to the blown third period leads or the poor third period play, what can anyone ever say or even say anymore at this point? Like, going back to Joseph, the same script every season. It's the same thing. It was last year and the year before that. A blown third period leads. Like, we can look at that, like the goal differential per period per year for the New York Islanders.
This year, yeah. Well, I'll talk about this year's while you go and find that. It was so minus 13 now. They've given up 33 goals in that third period. I'll pull up those numbers again because I still can't believe that was real.
Okay, so here we go.
All right.
Oh, wait, no. The NHL.com is super slow. All right, so this year, third period goal differential, it hasn't updated for today, but we've seen it. It's minus 13. Last year, minus 10. 79 goals allowed in the third period, 79 goals scored, 89 goals allowed. The year before that, though, it was actually 91 to 69. So what is that, like plus 20 something? 91 minus 69? Yeah, plus 22. So we were good in the third period just 2 years ago in 22-23.
So more of a 23-24 and 24-25 issue. Yeah.
We were bad in the second period 2 years ago. But even then, bad, it's like minus. No, not even. It's still plus. We scored 91, gave up 87.
So plus
we were
4.
bad in the first with a minus 1 goal differential.
That's even though. I would,
exactly.
round that to even.
So It's the last 2 years
Last 2
where we
years.
just can't do anything in the third period.
No. Ugh. Gross. All right, we got 4-2 lost. We got to do our ice time, and we'll go through the rest of these comments here. Leader for forwards. My hint to you, Mitch, is it's not going to be a name that you expect.
Okay. Jean-Gabriel Pajot then.
I like how you're thinking, but not JG Pajot. It's Simon Holmstrom.
Oh, really?
21 minutes, 51 seconds.
I don't get that at all. I don't think he's bad, but
at the end of the game, he went up for Anders Lee after the fight, but I didn't think it would make that much of a difference. But.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, he gets power play time now, right? So that might do it. We had how many power plays? We had the 3 power plays, so that
3
plus the extra couple of shifts, maybe that's all it took. Maybe.
Anyway, least amount of ice time.
I assume it's Matt Martin. He didn't play much in the second, did he?
7 minutes, 17 seconds in total.
Completely ineffective. Which is it's not no shout out to Matty. Like he shouldn't be put in this situation. He should not be in this.
No, this is like it's like when a kid misbehaves so much that it's like you start blaming the parent. Be like, this isn't on the kid anymore. Like, what do you expect?
What do you expect? You're right.
Yeah. Anyway, defenseman.
Noah Dobson leads the way.
23:45 for him. Your least amount of ice time is
Grant Hutton.
12:31 for Grant Hutton. Isaiah George, for those interested, 19 minutes 34 seconds was 4th for defenseman.
Makes sense. And Dennis Chalowski was what, 15 minutes?
14:41. Yeah,
okay.
Just about.
He had that one power play in the third period where he played the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, their plan was we're going to keep Chalowski on, and then when they added Dobson with the second unit, they were just going to run 2D. They're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, and none of it is.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to be like, why do they keep doing this? They got like the least useful defenseman out there, really, and it's not working. Well, obviously, but you're right. It's just random bullshit. See what happens.
If we're gonna do the random bullshit, can I pop Nick's comment up here a second? Give Jeffries a chance. Why not?
He's not producing right now at the AHL level. So I think we're catching Alex Jeffries in a learning period. I don't think this is the right time to do it.
Probably not.
I don't if they end up doing it, then great. I just think that it's not the right time for him at the moment. Because it's not going to work. But how about that other comment that just came in?
Maybe we could sign Uncle Leo for the top line. Get that offense cranking. 2021. Oh, how I yearn for those 2020 and 2021 Islanders.
Yeah, I know. But as long as we can play the entire game on our ass, then Leo will be productive. But otherwise, no.
Not the case.
Not the case.
As for Semyon Varlamov, he stopped 17 of 20 shots for an .850 save percentage.
They got 21 shots on net. That's all they did. I can't believe it. Last time it took 10 shots. My God.
Yeah. Frustrating stuff. We'll pull up some more box score stuff and then some comments to close. Islanders shots differential, they were better, 29-21. Face-off percentage, they were dominant again, 67.5%. Mitch, I had a thought during the game that I wanted to toss to you on the post game, so I figured now would be a good time to do that. They stink on the power play, right? Fair assessment. They're really bad. How can they be so good at face-offs and then be so bad on the power play? Because isn't like the whole point, like you want to win the face-off in the offensive zone and get yourself set up? Like, isn't winning the face-off step one to getting an effective power play going? Yeah,
I guess they win them, but then they don't know what to do once they win it. So JG wins it, and then everyone goes, and they have no idea what happens after that.
Because I was really thinking as they had another 0 for night on the power play, I was thinking like, what's going on here? And I could almost, if they were like a bottom 5 face-off team in the league, be like, okay, here we go. They can't win the face-off, and then they're trying to get back into it, right? But that's not the case. That's not the case. They're winning it at every night. I think only one game this season. I think the Edmonton game on the road was the only time they did not have the advantage in the face-off dot.
That makes sense. I wish we would have more publicly available data, like how good are they at breaking through in the neutral zone? because I think that's where they lose, not just on the power play. That's definitely where they lose on the power play, but like at 5-on-5, they just can't break through the blue line, and that is their Achilles heel. Because otherwise, they are a good team. They really are. If they could just break through the neutral zone a little bit more cleanly, specifically on the power play, they would have a lot more points on the board. It just would.
They would. They just flat out would.
Stupid.
Power play 0 for 3. Each team went 0 for 3. Penalty minutes 10 a pop. Hits pretty close to even, 24-23. The Red Wings with one more. Isles blocked 14 shots tonight. Giveaways 16-12. Islanders with more. Takeaways 4-3.
Yeah, this is a pretty close game, at least on the score on the box score there. I know the stat line doesn't show it, but they won by 2 goals. One was an empty netter. But yeah, that sucks. And they had the game. They freaking had it. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Okay, comments?
Yeah, we can do a few more comments before we get out.
Nick, I wish someone would commit to me like Lou does to McLean as the power play coach. I don't get that. And there's another one on that as well. Later on here, I wish I could do it. How on earth for Andre does Lou keep McLean? What a joke! Like McLean as like a power play coach, I assume. Maybe not his son.
It could be. I mean, there could be some Kyle McLean upset because he hasn't been very good. The fourth line in general is just every single night they are a non-factor.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Nick is saying on the positive note, they picked up a great season to suck. Brock and Palmieri should get a first and a prospect each. Can reboot this whole team in one deadline. I mean, like the Washington Capitals did it, right? I didn't think it was going to work, but look at it. It's working, man.
Yep. It is working. And, 3 first-round picks would do, not that you're acquiring 3, but you have your own and you get 2 more. Let's say you have 3 first-round picks. I'm not saying you have to sit and pick 3 straight times, but it gives you a little bit more flexibility. Or even worst case, if Kyle Palmieri gets you a second, like then you have 4 picks in the top 2 rounds. Like you have a lot to work with if that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Say to survival, like give up. We need to be a lottery team, but remember, we do have a lot of injuries. In saying that, we need more high-end talent anyways. It's true. We do. As much as I'm a prospect guy, like our prospect pool is not fantastic. It's not terrible, but it's not fantastic. Mm-hmm. Here's a question I'm sure most of us are asking. I don't understand how a Hall of Fame GM sits and watches this time and time again.
It's too early for them to really do anything yet. Although maybe, if they wanted to call the crosstown rival Rangers, it seems like they're open for business. You see that today?
Yeah, like Chris Kreider would be outstanding for our power play. Really,
he scores a billion. Or I know a lot of people make fun of Mika for being a power play merchant, but I would take a power play merchant right now because the Islanders don't have one.
That would change a lot for us. It really would.
The Islanders would be running out like a 3-2C team with Brock Nelson, Mika Zibanejad, and Bo Horvat.
Just all the centers. Just play all the centers. Like Jeremy says, yes, we're missing Duclair and Barzal. It's 2 big holes to line up offensively. I don't think the issue is offense. Do you?
I was gonna say, yes, they need to score more goals, and obviously missing 2 of your top line players is going to hurt. And missing Adam Pelech is going to hurt. This is something that I'd be saying if they did not do this when they were fully healthy this year, if they did not spend all of last year doing the same thing, then yeah, it's so much easier to say they'll be better when these guys show up. But will they? Because in the sample size we saw when everyone was healthy, that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Well, like Andre says, the special team sucked before the injuries. Like you're mentioning, not just injuries, team lacks high-end talent, yet they are brought back year after year. There is something to be said about we are missing Duclair, we are missing Barzal. That would certainly help. Absolutely. And I know obviously the offense might be a problem because they only scored 2 goals. And if they had scored a third one, then maybe they put this game to bed. It's just that the lack of resiliency is really the issue here. Like we talked about this on the show yesterday in terms of outscoring your problems. That was Doug Wade hockey. I don't want to be in a situation where we have to outscore our problems.
No.
And if we cut back on our problems, then then we could start looking at the offense. But I think right now, yes, the offense isn't clicking, but we have way too many problems to deal with, specifically the special teams. As in like the penalty kill as well, right? Like if we figure those two out, relatively speaking, just middle of the pack, that would change a lot for us. And that doesn't have to involve Matthew Barzal or Anthony Duclair right away.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Left lock, as much as I love the guys on the squad, at some point you look at this personnel and let them find new homes and start anew.
At least for some. I'm not saying like when I say sell pieces off, I'm not saying you're trading 20 of the guys on your roster. Like that's not unrealistic. I'm talking about making a few changes to this group that's been here for a long time.
Yeah. Again, the Caps did it, right? They traded, they made like 5 different trades, moving pieces around. But some of those, like Darcy Kemper, they moved other guys off the roster that I completely forget now, but it wasn't consequential. Kuznetsov, right? Like these are guys at the end of their ropes anyways. And then they bring in all this, and they still made the playoffs that year. They still made the freaking playoffs. It was crazy.
They got bounced pretty quickly, but so did the Islanders. So like, what the hell's the difference here?
Exactly. Brandon, the Islanders have blown another third period lead. Also, every 60 seconds in Africa, a minute passes.
Yeah, it's like one of these times the Islanders did it recently. Spiz was like in the Discord was like, see, I told you. It's like, this is predicting that the sun's going to come up. Like, what are we? Or do we really get to victory lap a blown third period lead?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. To Chris, because can we get some old school while on the bench, snap at the boys, throw some sticks? The man's redder than a tomato.
Yeah, he'd be looking a little red. The blood pressure is pretty high.
I wouldn't mind it. It doesn't mean you have to lose control all the time, but it comes back to like Jamie Tart with Ted Lasso, basically. Like, be a prick when it is appropriate, right? Someone's got to be giving the finger to Patrick Roy. Like, Lou's got to be giving him the signal from the bleachers at some point. Go full prick. Do it now. It is appropriate to do it now. Please, for the love of God. Because it's just my word. And then final one here from Nick. The team's bad when the other team's commentary says they've been down to the Islanders. They've been dead to the Islanders before, and all we know how the Isles play, and we all know how the Isles play in the third period. So everyone knows that the Islanders suck in the third period, and they're just like, don't worry, guys, we're losing, but we've got another 20 minutes where the other team's just not going to play hockey. We'll be fine. What a joke.
It's really unreal. Well, Islanders back in action on Wednesday. They'll be hosting the Boston Bruins. So
great.
Yeah, the Bruins, who are riding the new coach bump. We'll see.
God damn it. Yeah, 2 wins in a row for them. Do they play tonight? I don't remember Boston play tonight.
Great question. I didn't see.
I hate how the banner is no longer there.
I know. I just did the same thing you did. No, they didn't.
Okay, that's good in a way. They played. You're right. They play Vancouver tomorrow.
Oh, so back to back.
Yeah, we get them in the second leg of the back to back. Maybe that's going to be good.
Here we go. That's how they're going to get back on track, baby. All right, that'll do it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe here if you're new, and we'll catch you next time.